is to
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
looks like it's going to send a text to, let's see, let's try another way.
I'm gonna say I might have it. Yeah, verification code.
This is for Twitch, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, all right. Hello, and we're back live again. Um,
Woohoo!
okay, so after that brief and unscheduled commercial break, we're we're going to circle back. We talked our favorite game mode, and we had another question from our illustrious host, usual part-time, sometimes host from the Bridal Expo in Phoenix, Arizona. Mr. Greg DeLacy asks, do you miss the days of the E3 showcases where publishers would focus on a narrow week in June, or do you prefer the new way they release information throughout the course of a year with smaller spotlight type events? And before Virgin Media hoses him once more, we're going to let Mark answer this question.
Yeah, Virgin Media.
It was a dick move.
Yeah, I loved the E3. I loved that week. I loved the build up, and I loved that week. And I used to actually take that week off and stay up late because obviously it was in late because it was always Pacific time, wasn't it? So it was like 1, 2 a.m. for me for the conferences. But I used to stay up late and watch them all, take the week off work. I used to get right into it, and we used to all jump on Xbox Live together and watch it and react to it together. We even did some podcasts live and stuff with it. Yeah, I miss all that. I miss that.
I remember we used to do the on the old. Well, I say the old. Way back in my day, we used to do our E3 prediction show, and then we would do our E3 reaction show on the overseas connection.
Yeah.
Back when the episodes were still numbered in the 100s and in the teens rather than 800 episodes. Awesome. What do you think, Kim? How do you feel about E3
I'm
versus?
kind of the same way. I liked the build up the week of E3. Like I said, we all would gather around our laptops or whatever, and we'd all hang out and watch as the new big game would pop up on the screen, or maybe a game we weren't expecting, and we'd all get excited. Or maybe it's just me because usually something was mentioned about Dragon Age or something, and I about lose it. I mean it. And I don't know. It seems like now the excitement's not necessarily there like it used to be. I guess there's the Summer Games Fest, and I guess that's kind of close, but it's still not the same. So the hype, I don't think the hype is there like it used to be. So
yeah, I'm with you. I think a big event that's got everybody's attention is the place to drop those big surprise announcements, right?
Mhm.
If you have your own little show and you're not really like, if Sony does a show, all the people that are Microsoft devotees are not going to tune into Sony's show, right? So you're not
right.
necessarily up in your competition. And I find it's just too many events for me to keep track of.
Right, there is a lot. It seems like.
Yeah, maybe I'm just getting on in years and I'm crotchety, but I do love this concept, Mark, of just taking the week off work for E3. How does this? I need to. How do you get into that world?
Well, that's back in the day when I worked for the ambulance service, and I was there a long time. So I used to get quite a lot of holidays a year. So it was pretty good, really, because I used to get 33 days a year. Don't get that now, unfortunately. But yeah, we're good old days.
The good old days. Excellent. Well, excellent questions, both from Jeff and from Greg, wedding coordinator DeLacy. Thank you both. We're going to talk about some sort of free games. So Kim, why don't you talk to us about some games that are free because we pay for them?
Alrighty. Your PlayStation See, I can already talk. This is why I don't host. Your PlayStation Plus games for May are Ark Survival Ascended for the PS5. Of course, I guess there's one PS4 left. Balatro, which I have never played, so I guess this is my chance to play it now for the PS5 and PS4. And this one I have played, and I do enjoy it, is Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun for the PS4 and PS5. So those are your PlayStation Plus games for May. For Xbox Game Pass, we have Anno 1800, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the 2022 version, and I'm sure there'll be more to that. Leaving Xbox Game Pass this month, we have Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, Chants of Sinar, Dune: Spice Wars. I didn't even realize that one was out. Not that I know a whole lot about Dune, but anyway. Hontai, Jurassic World Evolution 2. One I do know a lot about, which should surprise no one. Little Kitty, Big City. As a matter of fact, I even bought it off of Game Pass. I actually recommend it because we were talking about chill games. That would be a good one. Planet of Lana, and The Big Con. For your Prime gaming for May, I'm going to go through the couple of batches because it's Prime. There's always a gigantic list. We have Star Wars Galactic Battleground Saga, Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, Styx Master of Shadows, and The Invisible Hand. That's Invisible. Yeah, Invisible Hand. Okay. There's probably a joke to be had there, but I'm not going to go. It's like Mage Hand. But anyway, I won't go there. Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus Digital Deluxe Edition, and there's going to be a lawnmower go by here shortly, so I do apologize. Amnesia Rebirth. Hey, it's warm weather. My dad's mowing. We all know how that goes. Hypnospace Outlaw, and Doors Paradox. Somehow I don't think that's about Jim Morrison, but it could be. And those are your first couple of weeks of Prime Gaming.
Every time you say Wolfenstein, I'm just channeling, my name is Frankenstein.
Yes.
Gene Wilder. So there you go.
I like that.
Yeah, and then we got some Epic Games.
Yeah, Epic Games for now to the 15th. We have Dead Time Defenders and Touch Type Tale. So there you go.
Touch Type Tale. So quick question for the both of you. Anything leaving Game Pass that you just feel like I gotta play right now?
No. If anything,
No.
Jurassic World Evolution 2, I might have played, but I ain't got time for it. I never even played the first. Yeah, I didn't even play the first one. I know Phil loves them sort of games.
All right. Yeah. The only thing you have to know about Dune, Kim, is it's Tatooine, but there's giant worms and no lightsabers. So it's
gotcha.
Kind of what it's about. Good. Sweet.
Yeah.
You're up, Mark.
It's game time.
Today I feel like playing computer games.
It's game time.
All right. So we're gonna do something we haven't been able to do because Tank Top has been here, and I think we're just gonna talk Baldur's Gate 3 for a little bit because I know all three of us have spent a good bit of time in Baldur's Gate 3. So let's wrap about that before we go around the horns on what we've been playing. I think Mark is the latest iteration of Tav to save humanity. So let's hear some thoughts, Mark.
Yeah, I've fallen down the rather large rabbit hole. I'm sharing loads of videos with Kim, and I've gone balls deep into Baldur's Gate. I went on yesterday.
Literally,
yeah, I went on yesterday at 4 p.m. I thought I'll just do a couple of hours. Looked at the clock and it was 9:30 p.m. Oh shit, man, where's 5.5 hours gone? But yeah, so yeah, people must know what Baldur's Gate is by now. But it's an RPG based on the Dungeons and Dragons game rule set, so rolling the dice, etc. You have a party of 4 people in your crew and just doing all your missions and your tasks. So my scenario yesterday afternoon, it was both shocking and hilarious at the same time. I found this place called Blighted Village, and I could hear a lot of enemies in there, and I could hear this dude under duress and needing some help. So I hopped over this wall, and I instantly got attacked by all these goblins and wargs, which are like big hound dog things, and it didn't go well. So I reloaded. I learned quite quickly off both Chris and Kim to do the save scum. I reloaded and I went round the back and I did a sneaky attack on them. I went round the back, and as I was coming round to where the bottom of the village is, there's this big barn on the left, And as I got nearer, I could hear some noises, some voices in there. So you get close up to it, and you can actually say who's there, sort of thing. So I got my character to say who's there. And this voice came out saying, don't come in, and all this lot. But curiosity got the better of me, and I opened the door. And I wish I hadn't, because there was a bugbear taking an ogre from behind, to
The
put it
Buggerine
politely.
Bugbear.
Yeah, to put it politely. I mean, he sort of like steps away, covers his privates, and he's going, oh, oh, oh. And then this ogre just stands up, and it's huge, and then a big battle ensues. So yeah, that was quite shocking, but fun at the same time. So I managed to take them two down quite easily. Then I started going into the back of this blighted village, and I noticed a couple of like scout goblins on the roof. So I climbed up the roof in stealth mode. You can creep around. Took them out. Took two more out. And as I got to where the windmill is, right, no matter where you try going sneaking, you actually encounter the goblins and talk to them. So I confronted them and asked them what they're doing. And there was this gnome on the windmill going round and round and round. Poor guy. And I says, what are you doing that for? He says, oh, it's just a bit of fun. It's our playthings type thing. And I was saying, well, you need to let him go. It's not fair on him, sort of thing. Anyway, if I won't let him go, you could either fight them, or I use my paladin specific phrases and stuff, and I managed to roll a good dice to persuade them to sort of like bugger off and leave him for me, and then let him be under my charge, sort of thing. This poor little gnome guy, can't remember his name now. It begins with a B, doesn't it, Kim?
Burkus.
Yeah.
Burkus.
So they buggered off. So this poor guy still going round and round and round. So I went round the back of the windmill, and there's the mechanical controls for the windmill. I wasn't paying attention. I pulled the first lever I came to. It was the release brake. This windmill sped up, and I heard this guy go, "Wah!" And I thought, oh, poor guy's passed out. Anyway, I pulled the other lever, and it braked it and stopped the windmill. I went back round the front of it to find him on the windmill. He wasn't there. So he must have flung him off somewhere, God knows where, and must have killed him. So yeah, that got a reload as well. So yeah, next time I did the same. I got the guys to leave. I went round the back of the windmill, and I pulled the correct lever this time, put the brake on, and freed this guy, and he was grateful and all this lot. And he told me there's a chest somewhere. Oh no, a backpack.
Backpack.
Check it.
Yeah, I haven't found that yet.
It's
Look,
not
it's
far
in the
from there.
hatch. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
not hard. That far.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So-
yeah.
So let me ask you this. You said you played for 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
How far from the beach? I can't remember the name of the beach that you start on. How far from that beach did you get?
Well, I was actually when I started playing, I was near the mountain pass, and I come across
Mhm.
the Lazel race of people. Can't remember what they're called. Gifex.
The Githyanki. Yep.
Yeah. And one of them were on a dragon, and I managed to talk myself out of a battle with that. And then when I found the mountain pass thing, and I text Kim and I says, "Does this take me to Act 2? Do I need to finish everything here first? Will it not let me go back?" She said, "Yeah, you need to finish what you're doing." So I left that area, and that's when I went down the map, because there's still a lot of map I haven't uncovered, and that's when I found the blighted village. Just before I met the guy on the dragon, I come across some gnolls, so I took them out and saved 2 people, and I talked him into letting me have their caravan chest, which had a nice bit of kit in it. Can't remember what it was now. Yes, I did that. So yeah, just checking the gnolls out, talking to the guy on the dragon, and then doing the blighted village. 5.5 hours. Just went
So-
just like that.
What's your preferred approach here for both of you? You prefer to go murder hobo, or you prefer to talk everybody down? What's your general approach as you go through the adventures with Tav and company?
A bit of both for me. Because I'm quite new to it and I'm still learning about the combat. I either do well or I do really crap in the combat. So if I could talk my way out of it, if there's a lot of them, like the guy on the dragon, I knew I'd have no chance against. That dragon was huge. So yeah, I talked my way out of that. But the gnolls and that, what I found out, and I mentioned it to Kim, and Kim says she does the same with that blighted village. going down the back and taking a couple out at a time rather than taking them all on at once. That seemed to be a
Yep.
better scenario. Because I'm still in that village. I haven't found that guy's backpack yet, but there's also, well, I've seen 2 ogres still in another part of that village, and Kim says there's actually 3. So I've still got that village to complete. So yeah, I've still got a lot to do in there.
Have you managed to leave sort of the first area yet?
No, well, I presume that mountain pass takes me to the second area, and I don't know if you
There's-
can go back.
Well, so you can. The game will tell you when you can't go back anymore, but you can go into the mountain pass and then come back to the Ravaged Beach area.
Right.
There's kind of 2 ways to go from Act 1 into Act 2. And so we're gonna ask Kim, what is your preferred approach for getting from Act 1 to Act 2? You prefer the mountain pass, the Underdark?
The Underdark.
Oh, so there's more than
I've
one
never
way.
actually done them. Yeah, because I actually accidentally stumbled into the Underdark my first time through because I went down the well in the Blighted Village. So might want to pay attention to this. And I killed everything down there. That's kind of where the murder hobo comes in. And there's the big hole that goes all the way down, and you make some comment when you go by it. Oh, hey, I feel a breeze. Wonder what that is. And then I think one of the others says a comment. So me being me and not paying attention, I was jumping from spiderweb to spiderweb to try to figure it out. Well, when I jumped to the second spiderweb, it broke, and I plummeted down the hole. And of course, they all plummeted down after me, and of course, I died. But that's when I figured out, hey, that's where the Underdark is. So of course, when I
Ooh.
saves come to my back, I figured out Featherfall and went that way. So,
In that blighted village, there's a basement, and if you go further down in the basement, there was a wall which was like a illusion, and I went through that. And there's a place with like spiderweb walkways, but I didn't go. I didn't go any further because I wanted to finish the village off and save that guy. So is that the Underdark down there?
No, that's not the Underdark. It's a way to get to the Underdark.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, you can also go through. There's a ruined temple where all the goblins are hanging out. So if you go to the Grove, you get the mission to go to the temple, and you can either make a deal with the leaders of the Absolute cult, or you can incapacitate them in some way, and then you can get into the Underdark without falling that way. Yeah. I am a kind of I don't want to miss content type person, so I actually, my first playthrough, I went all the way through the Underdark to where it said you are about to advance to Act 2. Do you want to continue? And I said nope. And I went back and I went all the way through the mountain pass, because I just, I'm one of the, when it comes to role playing games, I want to level up so that I am overpowered when I get to the boss fights. I just want to
that's what, when I went to the mountain pass, when it said you want to advance, but it says you are well underleveled for this area. And I text Kim, and because I said I've got a fear of FOMO, fear of missing out if I leave this area now, because there's a lot still to do. Because there's a lot of the map's still fogged out for me. So yeah, so I'm staying where I am at the moment. But this game is huge. It's so there's so many variants and possibilities. The voice acting alone, there must be thousands of hours of dialogue stored somewhere. It's just crazy. And I bet every playthrough you do is different. I can't see how you can have the same playthrough. I can't see how that's possible. It's just unreal.
There's some, there's a few things that have to happen to move the narrative forward, but you can have different interactions.
But just the dice rolls alone, it's going to be different, isn't it? Yeah.
Right.
So Kim, what's your preferred party composition in terms of class and who's playing that role?
All right. Well,
other than Gale, who's obviously
well, all right, 'cause that's a given.